I think banking is about lots of things, but I think about three things actually that will make a big difference. It's about talent, so people, innovation, and good regulation. I think there's a lot of work that's been done, and I see Daniel Manelli sitting at the back there, so I'm sure he's probably going to be talking at his table, or I hope he's probably going to be following up on what the central bank governors are doing on the regulatory front. But I think getting that, the regulatory framework, making sure that we've got the right regulatory framework, we've got capacity within the regulatory environment to ensure that banking and the financial sector on this continent is sound, good, and is well maintained. And I think we've actually got a good, well maintained sector across most of the countries on this continent, and I think that's important. And I think we need some harmonization on that and make sure that as we move forward, we don't get caught up in some of the. I think one of my concerns is that globally there is a real danger of dissonance between different regulators. But I think good regulation, making sure that it's there, making sure that the banking system functions and functions well, and that we also understand, and Donald made this point, that we also learn from some of the lessons of regional integration. And the best example of that is Europe, and we all, there's some good lessons to be learned of what works well and what doesn't work so well, and understanding the need to make sure that fiscal and monetary harmonization work hand in hand. The other is talent and people, and I agree entirely with Donald. If you go to global financial institutions and you go into if you go into Barclays and I go into our operations in London or New York, the people working there come from all over the world. Talent is global, and if we really want to make sure that we have a dynamic market and we get things done well, we're going to be able to have to attract and make sure that African talent goes all over the world and comes back to our continent, and that talent within our continent can move around. And I think one way to start is to make sure that Africans can circulate and can move, and young people in particular can move. They can already move electronically. So for us to think that we can impose physical barriers on where talent moves, we can't run the financial services sector without talent being able to move. And the other is innovation. If we're going to extend financial services to communities, to small business, to bank people, to bank individuals across our continent, it's going to require innovation. And innovation is going to require a different way of thinking about how you regulate, about where you do things, about, as I said earlier, where you put operations, where you hub them, how you best deliver that service, who you partner with, and so getting policymakers to think about it in that way is fundamentally important.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.